What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and it's Everton against Blackpool at Bloomfield Road, Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. Everton's first pre-season game. I believe it's Blackpool's as well. And let's just talk about who we're playing against. Blackpool are a team that, you know, recent years have had a few problems. They had financial issues. I think last season or season before, they even struggled to have, I think it was 11 players, and they had to do a massive sort of recruitment drive. And, you know, this is a team that a few years ago were a Premier League side, you know, at least a Championship side, and now we're looking at a team that is firmly in League One. Their season was cut short, as we all know. I can't remember what date it was in March. Their last game was against Tranmere Rovers. So they've probably not played in the best part of 5 to 6 months. Obviously, I would suspect they've had a few pre-season friendlies or games behind closed doors, but they're certainly not going to be up to any sort of serious level. If you look at their team in general, look, there's not many names you're going to recognise, I would say. You may remember Nathan D'Alfonso. He played in the Premier League for Aston Villa about 10 years ago. So, again, nothing particularly, you know, regular or anything. And it's a game that Everton on paper should win, irrespective of the team that Everton field. It's a game that Everton should win. I expect that we'll see some game time for hopefully some of the younger lads like Ellis Sims. It'd be great to get him in and around the first team. He deserves it. He scored another goal for the under-23s the other day. You know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are still away, I believe, so they can't play. So it'll be interesting. I understand that Delph is back. And Holgate's back in training. So, again, I'm expecting minutes for a large variety of players. And obviously, we will be doing a watch-along as long as we can get the game streamed and watch it okay. So, touch wood, that will happen. Obviously, who knows? Because Everton are shit when it comes to stuff like that. In terms of Everton's team, as I say, look, Everton should win this game. Doesn't matter how they play, but this gives Carlo Ancelotti an opportunity to look at some of the other players, some of the players that weren't involved in the squad, and Ancelotti doesn't know about, you know, the equivalent of Garbutt's situation, where we might say who. It gives him an opportunity to look at players like Besic, Balassi, and maybe they'll get game time. Now look, again, Besic and Balassi are better than Blackpool, so you're not going to get a lot from it because they're not going up against their sort of standard. You would expect both of those players to consistently get into their side. So don't read too much into it, but it would be good to see them put on a blue shirt, have some type of performance. Will be interesting to see if some of the players who potentially are on their way out do play. Obviously, Michael Keane's been linked with Real Madrid, which is not Real Madrid, Barcelona, which is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling the fact that they brought in Koeman after the shit job he did with us. So it'll be interesting to see, from that perspective, who actually gets game times at Everton. And equally, you know, are we going to see the young lad, the young French left-back that we've signed already? Are we going to see him start a game instead of Luca Dean? Are we going to see, you know, are we going to see Kenny, for example, starting in front of Coleman? What's going on? Interesting bit of news today is that Fulham have completed the signing of Anthony Robinson. I think it's a good signing for Fulham. And to be honest, for £2 million, I think Everton should have signed him. It was bad, really, that Everton got rid of him, because I really rated him. And I thought the pre-season that he was at Everton, I thought he did a great job. You know, he was quick, he's direct. So I think Fulham have signed a good player there. And I think irrespective of anything, Fulham will certainly get money for him in a few years' time. No problem at all. He's a young lad, American international. He's not going to struggle in the Premier League because he's quick. In terms of other interesting news coming out of Everton, there's not. Apparently, ALLAN's agreed a €6 million a year deal, but apparently they want €35 million and we want to pay 30 now. I'm sure that this guy hasn't got long left on a contract. I'm not sure, so don't hold me to it. But that just seems ridiculous. So I don't know. I don't know. If you're going to tell me that Everton are going to sign ALLAN and DOUCOURE, look, it's better than what we've got. A lot of Everton fans are absolutely buzzing about it on Twitter and Facebook, and I semi-understand it. But for me, I want a goal-scoring midfielder, and I just don't think either of them are really consistently. You know, somebody threw a stat up here that DOUCOURE scored 18 goals DOUCOURE scored 18 goals and got 11 assists in 4 seasons. Now, if I break that down, it's what, 6 or 7 a season, which is okay. But I want a midfielder who's going to get me 10 goals alone. Maybe it's a bit of a push, but there are players out there for that. So I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence about that. Going back to the game, obviously, I just want to see how this gives us an opportunity to see how Ancelotti is going to set up. You know, this is this season. It's different to last season. The objective last season was to keep Everton in the Premier League, which he did that and he achieved that. And to be fair, Duncan and Ferguson, before Ancelotti come in, achieved that in my opinion. I just think it'll be interesting to see how he plays. I just think it'll be interesting to see how he plays, what formation he goes with, whether he plays a 3-5-2, whether he plays, you know, a 3-4-3, because he has done that in the past. It just will be interesting to see. And it also means we have a look at how they're going to set up for next season, because, you know, with the recruitment brands he's making, what players are going to come in? You know, we all been linked with Florenzi, good player, take that all day. ALLAN, good player, take it all day. DOUCOURE, take it all day. I still want a goal scorer though. And you know, Everton have been linked to Zaha, numerous wingers. I mean, it's pointless mentioning numerous wingers, but we've been linked with numerous players. And I just think it's quite interesting to see how we are going to set up for the start of the season. And that brings me on to the start of the season, and more importantly, the fixture list. I find it absolutely fucking hilarious that Everton are playing. Bar, who do we play after Spurs away? Bar Spurs away, first game of the season. All of the big, say, 6 or 7, they're all at home before Christmas. While there's going to be no fans or barely any fans in the stadium. And if you tell me that that isn't deliberate, well, I'm sorry, but fuck off. Because I do not believe for a fact that that's not semi-intentional. I'm not going to say it's completely intentional, but semi-intentional. Playing Liverpool first. Look, I've got no problem playing Liverpool first, but the simple fact of the matter is, it was almost semi-obvious. The positive thing about the Liverpool game is we're playing them 10 years to the day since we last beat them. Not a good stat, but at least it's a stat that we won. We will see. Look, we will see. I'm certainly not getting ahead of myself for this season. Recruitment's been slow. I certainly think the outgoings have been slow. I think Ancelotti would have preferred to not have this dilemma and this inflated squad going into the first pre-season game. I certainly think Ancelotti would have wanted a smaller group of players, a more hand-picked bunch. You know, the season starts in 3 weeks, fundamentally, or 4 if you want to add the few odd days. It's important that we have a great start. The first 7 games, you know, first home game of the season, these are games that you know, if Everton can have a good start this season, there's no reason we can't finish top 6 or compete and challenge for the top 6. It's where we need to be. It's what we need to be aiming for next season, and anything under 7th place is definitely a failure in my opinion. And that means Everton have got to finish 7th above teams at the very least, like Wolves and Leicester, which is going to be it's going to be a massive fucking challenge, isn't it? You know, Jimenez has scored 25 goals in 50 games this season. Leicester have still got Vardy, Maddison and Tielemans. You know, these teams are good teams, and what Everton are trying to do is essentially jump in and break up the top 6. I don't see the top 6 struggling like they have done this season. You know, every single team, bar Liverpool, has had an average roughy season. You know, all of the other teams, Man United, you know, the fact that Everton under Martinez with 72 points would have finished 3rd this season says a lot about the Premier League and where it's been and the quality in these sides. So they're all going to want to improve. First game of the season, Spurs away. Tough start. We always play poor against Spurs. Always. We did again this season. We lost a game that was absolutely shit. And we lost 1-0 thanks to a deflection of someone's fucking arsehole or face or something. So, look, I don't expect much this season so far. I will be doing the Premier League predictions And we will also be doing weekly predictions, so make sure you get all over that and you subscribe to that. If you're wondering where John is absolutely fine. He smashed it last week with Ben. So he'll be back in the next couple of days, no doubt about it. Hope you're all alright. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and like it. 52% of you guys that do not watch right now have not subscribed. So subscribe, because this is the fucking best ever, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm turning more and more into the original True Geordie by losing my hair and getting rounder. But now he's in decent shape, so maybe I can do the same. So, look, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Have a fantastic Thursday night. Have a fantastic Friday. And we will see you for the watch-along on Saturday. That is the plan. If not, it will be a match reaction. Well, or both. Guys, see you soon.
I look at people and I wonder all day, who are you and you are not the one in your way. And then I think about myself and I stay. I'm a pretty boss, look on my shit bright waist. I'm a freak in the sheets, but I got class. I'ma grab a knife.